Hi there, and welcome to today's session on time conjunctions with me, Mr. Price. Okay, so what are time conjunctions then? Well, time conjunctions are a type of subordinating conjunction, okay, and they relate specifically to time. So, yesterday we looked at what subordinating conjunctions are, okay, and today we're delving deeper into the time subordinating conjunctions that you may use. Now, what I've done here is just outline what a daily routine might look like. It's not a very, scientific or particularly accurate one, but it's going to help with today's explanation as to how to use time conjunctions appropriately. So, as you can see here, I've just outlined what a child might do, what you might be up to, sorry, on a normal day-to-day basis during lockdown. Okay. Now, if you want, you can make your own timetable based on what you're doing at the moment. It might help you out with this. So, here we go. The first conjunction which I'm going to have a look at using properly is after. Now, we use after when we are sequencing events. So, for example, here I've said, after I've had a shower, I will eat my breakfast. And generally, that's what I would do. Um, and the idea is that you have to make sure that you're getting the sequencing correctly for the correct use of after. Now, what you'll notice here is that after can appear both at the start of the sentence and also in the middle of the sentence. So, where I've gone for after I've had a shower, you'll notice after has a capital letter and there is a comma after shower. And that's because after I've had a shower is actually a subordinate clause. I will eat my breakfast is the main idea of that sentence. Where I've used after I've had a shower in the middle of a sentence, you'll notice that the A for after is a normal A, and there's a full stop here. I will eat my breakfast is the main idea. Okay. Right. Next conjunction I'm going to have a look at for you. I do apologise. Is the use of before, and before works very similar to after. It generally helps to have two events that are close together and you're talking about the event that happened. So, for my English lesson, the event that happened before the English lesson was me doing Joe Wicks. So, my sentence is, before my English lesson, comma, I will exercise with Joe Wicks. But I could have written that a different way. I could have written it as, I will exercise with Joe Wicks before my English lesson. Okay? So moving on to a different type of conjunction is a when. Now, when is very different to how you would use before or after. When is very specific. It means you're doing it there and then. So the example I've given you here is, when it's 12 o'clock, I will call my family. Or I could have written that differently. I could have said, I will call my family when it is 12 o'clock. Different example, I could have said, when it is 7 o'clock, I will wake up and have a shower. So remember, when is when you're being more specific about what you're doing. Now, the next conjunctions I'm going to look at are the use of whenever and while. Now, whenever and while behave very, very similarly, and it's when you manage to multitask at something. So, what I've done here is I've picked a time when I'm doing two things at once. And I've said here, whenever it is lunchtime, I will listen to music. But I could also say, while it is lunchtime, I will listen to music. And again, you can see I could have structured the sentence differently with my subordinate clause at the back of the sentence with whenever and while, so that I will listen to music whenever it is lunchtime, or I will listen to music while it is lunchtime. Different example, just to show that you can use whenever and while at the same time. whenever I go to the park, I play games. Or it could be, while I go to the park, I play games. It, they can be used very, very similarly. Okay, next one is since. Since is when you choose a marker. Here I've chosen from 1 o'clock, and then you list, and then you basically list what you've done since that time or that event. So my example here is since 1 o'clock, I have been doing art and topic, or I've been doing art and topic since 1 o'clock. I could have chosen a different time. I could have said since 10 o'clock, I've been doing English and maths. So since is when you pick a specific time and you tell me what you've done from that time. I could have listed quite a few things actually. I could have said since 1 o'clock I've done art, topic, park, games, yoga, dinner, TV, games, bath, bed. I could have made a big list really, but that's how we use since. And the final one that we're going to have a look at today is the use of the word until. Now, until behaves in the opposite way of since does. If we go back to since for a second, since is when you pick a time and then you tell me everything that happens from that time. Until is when you pick an end time and you list me things that you will do until the end time. So let's say dinner is my end time or my last event. I could say, until it is time for dinner, I will go to the park, play some games, and do yoga. And as you can see here, you could structure it a different way. But I could do that. I could do an until sentence from any time really. I've just got to name what I've done until that time. So if I wanted to do an until sentence, saying what I've done until lunch, I could say until lunchtime, until it is time for lunch, I will walk to school, I will exercise with Joe Wicks, I will do English, and I will do maths. So until behaves differently to since, because until is telling you what you have done or what you will do in that time period. So those are how we use the different time conjunctions. Okay. That is how we use the different time conjunctions, and I hope it's been of some use to you. It is quite a tricky one, and sometimes you can get bogged down in which one to use and when. So when you are having a go at doing my task today, please don't be afraid to rewatch the video at any point, and also to see what our different time conjunctions are. Right then, let's have a look at your tasks. So I will put on a fluency and a homework task again like yesterday. So task 1 is a fluency task. And again, red, blue and gold with marking sheet at the bottom. So let me guide you through what you do. So the first type of question that you're doing is reading the sentences, okay, and then underlining where the time conjunction goes. Second type of question, you may be presented with a sentence that's missing a time conjunction, and then you've got to write in the time conjunction that should fit. Third type of question, this is where you have to be a bit more clever and read both sentences and actually think to yourself which sentence uses the time conjunction correctly. So make sure you read both of those first. And finally, in your fourth type of question, it's a true or false one. So, for example, here, the following sentence, true or false, the following sentence correctly uses a conjunction to express time. So not only have you got to read the sentence, you've also got to pay attention to the conjunction it's using and then thinking about, well, is it being used correctly? And if you're not sure if it is being used correctly, you can always watch my video back to clarify how conjunction should be used. So that's the main task I'd like to have a go at doing. The other task, which I'll put up for you to have a go at, is the homework task. It's a slightly smaller document, and again, red, blue, gold options. And the idea here, your first question is choosing the right conjunction to fit the sentence. So, as I've always said, read the sentence first, and then have a go at trialing the conjunction in the sentence to see if it actually would fit. Your second type of question, you've got to change the meaning of the sentence by replacing the conjunction with one of the words below. So the example here is, we all ate our popcorn before the film started. Well, have a look at your two conjunctions here, replace it in. Which one of those would actually change the meaning of that sentence? And your final task is to write a sentence, so actually apply the use of a conjunction, in this case after, and here for the red sheet we have some words to help create that sentence. The main aim there is to create a conjunction sentence using after. Blue, very, very similar, except you don't have any other helping words there. And gold as well, you can see it's similar in the sense you don't have any words, but you might be asked to do some extra bits and bobs there. Right, well, I hope that's been of use today. I will post on another video to do with a different type of conjunction that we use, and that will be appearing tomorrow. So I hope this video has helped, and yes, I wish you good luck with your task. Okay, bye then.